Right now at 6, the devastation from the Rowena fire comes into focus with more homes destroyed and animals in desperate need of help.
He's got burn marks on his face, and at this point we decided it was the best case scenario to take him to the vet here.
Plus, a disturbing attack in Beaverton.
This is an unusual event, and I can't even imagine the trauma that this victim is experiencing right now.
The search for a stranger who sexually assaulted a woman in her own home. And later, beauty stores pulling products off the shelves as more cancer-causing chemicals are discovered.
Sometimes I'm kind of like, I don't want to get my hair done anymore because it's like you don't really know what products you can use.
Then, a big night for the Beavers as the College World Series kicks off. We begin here at 6 with new information on the Rowena fire burning in the Columbia River Gorge. The Wasco County Sheriff's Office now reporting at least 49 homes have been destroyed. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Crews have worked day and night trying to get the Rowena fire under control. It has now charred 3,800 acres. Let's get a closer look at where that fire is located. It is burning between Mosier and the Dalles. Flames were first reported Wednesday afternoon. Still in place this evening are evacuations. All levels of evacuations, including level 3 go now, are still in place for thousands of homes. Let's bring in our Devin Haskins live in Rowena. Devin, you were there yesterday, you're back there today. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that number of 49 homes you mentioned, the Sheriff's Office says they expect that number to get larger as their officers go out or deputies go out and continue to assess the properties that are impacted by this fire. They say there's also a number of outbuildings like garages or detached garages and sheds that are also burned down, and they don't have an official number on that. It is again another windy day here just west of the Dalles, something the firefighters here for the Rowena fire have been dealing with since this fire started on Wednesday.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Ooh. Once again, gusty winds whipping through the eastern part of the gorge.
Yeah. So it's a little windy.
Fire officials securing the map as they give an update on the fire's destruction.
The wind, as you guys can see today, is bad, right? Similar wind as we had on the day of ignition.
Overnight, the fire growing from 3,500 acres to just over 3,800 acres.
Unfortunately, this is the worst incident I've seen in 23 and a half years being in law enforcement here.
Wasco County Sheriff Lane McGill says they know of 49 homes that have burned, as well as numerous outbuildings.
We actually have a serious amount of structures that are in here that are being assessed that were damaged in the Rowena, what we might call Rowena proper. Around here, what we call Adeline Way, Simon Alley Road, and there was a significant loss of residences in this area here.
He says he expects that number to grow. More than 3,800 homes are under various levels of evacuation, although he says some have been allowed back in.
Most of the evacuation changes have changed down in this area and here and all the way around the corner of this part of the fire. We've allowed some people that were in the level 3 areas back into their homes. It's about a 200, almost 300 individuals that have been able to go back in here.
And even though the fire remains at 0% containment, fire crews are optimistic about the days ahead.
The good news that I see is the wind's going to lessen over the next couple days, which is going to help our firefighters gain a handle on this.
The Oregon Department of Forestry has yet to say what the cause of this fire is, although they are asking for the public's help. So if you were in the area on Wednesday and saw anything, they're asking you to contact them. There is also a community meeting tonight at 7 at the Dalles High School Auditorium. KGW will have a crew there, so if you can't make it, you can always watch it on our KGW Plus app. Back to you.
And we'll also have a report on that meeting at 11. Appreciate your reporting on this, Devin. Thank you. And just into the newsroom, a new fire burning in Umatilla County, prompting level 3 go now evacuations. This is in an area just north of Hermiston. People living south of Bensel Road to Kloss Road and east of Highway 395 to Alpine Drive should leave immediately. Here are photos from the Umatilla Fire District. You can see the flames torched some school buses as well. It is not progressing though, and crews do have some containment. We'll update you when we get more information on that fire. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, break down the fire conditions out there for us.
All right, Christine, as Devin told us, it's still very windy in the gorge, but we're going in the right direction. Here's a live shot from our camera in the Dalles on the Oregon Veterans Home. Looking out towards the Rowena fire, you can see some smoke here still. We're zoomed in pretty close, but you don't see the massive plume that we saw a couple days ago when that fire started. You can also see some marine layer cloud cover to the west here. That's what we've been staring up at all day in the Portland area. It's just starting to thin out here. It's 65 degrees, but look, the wind's still gusting over 35 miles an hour in the Dalles, and it peaked at 43 miles an hour today. I think that's the highest gust we've seen all week. Rowena, right close to the fire, is the weather station that reported a gust of 33. Lyle on the Washington side of the Columbia, a gust of 41, and up at the Tomahawk Preserve, up above Mosier, a gust of 40. So it's still just whipping out there in the gorge, no surprise. But look, this is our hour-by-hour forecast for the wind gusts in the Dalles. As we go to the morning hours, they drop below 20 miles an hour. As we go into tomorrow afternoon, they ramp up again, but only to about 25 miles an hour, which is a lot better than the 35 miles an hour we're seeing today. And again, in the morning, they drop even below 10 miles an hour for a time. Smoke will continue to be an issue as long as the fire burns, but it's pretty thin once you get away from the fire itself. So the wind's diminishing after midnight tonight. They'll be lighter tomorrow, but still some gusts of 25 in the afternoon. But on Sunday, we should have light winds, only about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Christine?
Yeah, good to know our crews will get some help weather-wise. Thank you, Matt. While covering the Rowena fire, one of our crews saw some animals left behind in the evacuation areas. Our Thomas Schultz and photographer Eric Patterson decided to take action. Here's their story.
So myself and Eric Patterson, our photographer here, were just in Rowena. We were going door knocking as we were trying to find people to talk about just the devastation that we're seeing and coming across here. While we were doing so, we came across a house with a lot of cats, including a kitten here who is really suffering from all sorts of different issues and challenges. He's got burn marks on his face, and at this point we decided it was the best case scenario to take him to the vet here. And so as we are covering the wildfire, we are also obviously monitoring a lot of what's going on in the devastation and just the damage and harm that we're seeing, not only to families and their homes, but also their animals as well. So please, if you do have any animals, make sure that they are in good condition, make sure they are okay, because this is a fire that burns so thoroughly and so quickly that there's a lot of animals left stranded as well. So we just got out of the vet with that little kitten, and they tell us that he's a boy. He's about 8 to 10 weeks old. And when we were taking him in, it was really clear his face was very burnt. His nose had scarring, his cheeks did too. The vet tells us that so did his paws. Those are going to scar over as well, and they say that his coat may have been scarred in this fire as well, but because he's so young, it's kind of hard to tell at this point. Fortunately, they do tell us that he is going to be okay, and they've decided on a name. Rowena, in the Dalles. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
That little guy is a survivor. Glad to know he'll be okay, though. You can stay with KGW as we monitor the wildfire conditions in the gorge and beyond. For up-to-date information anytime, visit kgw.com and watch us on the free KGW Plus TV app. Meantime, in Washington County, deputies are looking for a man they say sexually assaulted a Beaverton woman inside her own home. They say she did not know her attacker, but she did know a man they arrested who they believe is connected to the attack. He had allegedly threatened the woman, but deputies say he was not the one who attacked her.
There's no perfect ending to this story because the victim has experienced a tremendous amount of trauma. But if we can get the community to come forward with tips that lead us to apprehend the suspect, that's going to give us some justice.
The assault happened just before 11 p.m. Monday near Bridal Hills Drive and 161st. The sheriff's office is now asking anyone who might have caught the attacker on home surveillance or dash cam to give them a call. The only description here, a man in dark clothing. And in a health alert, Washington is seeing a surge in pertussis or whooping cough cases. The state just released its report on 2024 with more than 2,200 cases in Washington. That is a 25-fold increase from the previous year when only 87 cases were reported. This year, there have already been more than 1,300 cases. As for Oregon, the state saw 1,100 cases last year. That is the most since 1950. The CDC recommends everyone stay up to date with whooping cough vaccinations and to get treatment immediately if diagnosed. The Trump administration is pulling the federal government out of an agreement to recover the salmon population here in the Pacific Northwest. The Resilient Columbia Basin Agreement was reached under the Biden administration. It promised more than $1 billion to help recover salmon runs, remove harmful dams, and build clean energy projects. The 4 dams involved were removed late last year, allowing salmon to swim back up the Klamath River for the first time in more than a century. The Northwest tribes are criticizing the administration's move, saying it, quote, echoes the government's historic pattern of broken promises to tribes. Meantime, local leaders reaffirmed Oregon's sanctuary status and condemned federal immigration efforts at a news conference today. This comes as ICE agents recently detained 4 asylum seekers in Portland and 2 more people in Newburgh.
We must not let this federal bullying scare us from exercising our right to free speech.
Coming up on The Story at 6:30, local leaders respond to the anti-ICE protests in our area. Now to more on those ICE arrests in Newburgh. They have people in the Yamhill County immigrant community fearful about what could happen next. John Adams is live in Newburgh after talking with people in town. John, what did they tell you?
Yeah, Christine, I spoke with one of the co-owners of the Capitos Mexican restaurant here in Newburgh, who described yesterday as a really terrifying day as one of her neighbors was taken into custody by ICE.
Copitos Mexican restaurant in Newburgh was full of diners during the lunch rush on Friday, but on Thursday, the doors stayed closed.
Yesterday was such a stressful day and I was very scared, for sure.
Co-owner Miriam San-Gabriel says the decision was made for the safety of the employees. Members of this community were shaken after hearing about 2 arrests made by ICE early that morning. One of those taken into custody was San-Gabriel's neighbor, Moises Sotelo.
Everybody loves him and he has a lot of family around here too. So it's very sad to hear that it just happened literally 3 houses away from mine.
A friend of Sotelo's daughter spoke with us outside the ICE facility in Portland on Friday.
It's sick. It's awful. Like, it's racial profiling. You can't find somebody just because of the color of their skin and then say, yep, let's look at this community. Someone's a criminal here.
ICE has not yet released details about Sotelo's immigration status.
San-Gabriel told us the fear of being detained by ICE has spread through the community.
We're just getting targeted because we're brown. They don't care if we're legal. They don't care if we are citizens. They're just targeting because we're brown.
According to San-Gabriel's daughter, teachers at the local middle school spent the last day of classes informing students what to do if they were detained by ICE.
One of our science teachers printed out a paper with our rights or what to say, what to do, who to call.
But the ownership at Capitos believes it's important to fight the fear and get back to running the business they love, just 1 day after the arrests.
We are not criminals. We pay our taxes. I contribute, I volunteer for my community.
San-Gabriel told me that she has spoken with some member of Sotelo's family that says after he was arrested, he was taken to the ICE facility in Portland and then transported to the facility in Tacoma. Christine.
John Adams reporting live from Newburgh. Thank you, John.